Hello, and welcome to the Caffeinated Librarians, Maypac Public Library's pop culture podcast. Today, we are kicking off our Myths, Folklore, and Legends series with my pick, Orpheus, directed by Jean Cocteau from 1950. And first, we're just going to go around and introduce ourselves. I'm Joe.
I'm Katie.
Oui, I am Luis.
Simona.
That was French for Louis.
Yeah, as you can tell, this is a French film. I hit the Cocteau as well.
That was pretty good.
This is a sort of modernized take on the Orpheus myth, but with a lot changed around and a lot of Cocteau's personal, dreamy, surreal style imbued into it.
Can I give a disclaimer before we start? I'm going to butcher everybody's names. Well, not everybody's. One name.
Eurydice?
No,
Herdebis.
Herdebis.
That's
Now
just
that
a
you said
French
it,
guy name. That's not Greek, yeah.
Herdebis. I should get that right now.
Herdebis.
Whose name do I always mispronounce, though?
Eurydice.
No, the director. He's doing
Denis Villeneuve.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For some reason, I want to call him Villanueva.
Yeah, you change his ethnicity around a little bit, but...
Anyway, I'm sorry.
But yeah, it stars Jean Marais as Orpheus, Jean Marais at this point was the former lover of Cocteau. I'm not sure how to read that into this film, but that's certainly there as an extra-textual element. His current boyfriend at the time was also in it too, playing Segeste.
Excellent head of hair.
Oh,
Absolutely.
gigantic
Excellent
pompadour
head of hair.
on Jean Marais.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
The first thing I noticed when I saw this man was his hair.
Yeah. Like, breathtaking.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's so thick. It's
Yeah.
just like, oh my god.
I want to
Yeah.
comb my fingers through it.
Yeah. I wish I could comb my hair like that. Not enough of it anymore.
And you got Maria Dia as Eurydice, Maria Cazares as Death, and Francois Perrier as Herdebis, who is Death's chauffeur. Herdebis is the real star of the show in this film.
Yeah.
He's the real team player of the joint. But yeah, so this takes, you know the myth of Orpheus, right? Should we run it back?
We could, yeah. If you watched Portrait of a Lady on Fire, that episode, we discussed it on that one. But yeah, why don't you go ahead and tell us about the legend?
I trust Simona.
Yeah, I do
one,
too.
yeah.
That's why I kind of passed that off. Yeah.
Okay, so Orpheus and Eurydice is a Greek myth. Orpheus and Eurydice were in love. Eurydice passes away. Orpheus, consumed by grief, begs for assistance from the gods. They allow him to enter into the underworld to retrieve Eurydice, with the caveat that he must not turn around to look at her until they have reached the world above. However, Orpheus, plagued by doubt, just as they're about to reach the entrance to the world above, looks back and loses Eurydice forever. He passes away under tragic circumstances when he is murdered by women who are essentially Bacchantes, or the follower of the god Bacchus, who's the god of revelry.
Who do pop up in this in a very
They
cool
do.
way.
And
The
they-
leader was so awesome.
Yeah, and they murder him.
Yeah, and
That's the myth in a nutshell.
this movie changes
Yeah.
a few things about that.
Yes. So here, Orpheus is a poet in then contemporary France, and oh boy, people don't like him anymore. He was once hot stuff, and now everybody is like, we hate you, Orpheus. You suck, and we can't stand you. We like this new guy, Segeste. There's a great scene where he goes to a cafe early on, and he's talking to this old guy who's like, I got out of the art game for a reason, buddy. They hate you. And I really like how that is shot. Like, the old guy's like whispering in his ear, and you get like a really intense close-up of it. He gives him some updates on the art scene. He shows him a new book, a new periodical that's been published called Nudism, where you open it up and it's just blank pages. Very funny gag.
Yeah.
But yeah, Segeste shows up, and he's drunk and a mess, and he starts a fight. And then the cops roll up, and like in a kind of frightening scene, because all the music cut, like there's been like this kind of jaunty piano music up until this point. It all just cuts to a dead silence as the cops roll up and just start hitting these poets left and right, and you're just like, oh god.
What a French thing too to have, like a
The cafe of poets.
a cafe full of poets.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And other artists.
And the old man's like, "Hey, Orpheus, you should maybe get out of here. The police like you a little too much. They're gonna start saying you're collaborating with them." But before he can leave, two guys on motorcycles, rather mysteriously, just drive on by and kill Suggest in his tracks. And then a mysterious woman in a Rolls Royce is like, yes, Maria Casares as the princess or death. And she's like, "I'll take his body. And Orpheus, you come with me as a witness." And Orpheus is like, "Okay, sure." And they start driving. And it gets weird real quick.
Yeah,
You'll notice the landscape they're driving in becomes a negative of itself. Mm-hmm. The trees all become white and the sky is pitch black. And you're just like, oh, man. And these weird messages start coming over the radio. Where it's either poetry or coded or something. And it's all just very, very odd. And I think a lot of that is drawn from occupied France. At this point, it's only been 5 years since World War II. A lot of those memories are still very fresh, and so you would hear coded stuff on the radio.
Resistance.
You would hear number messages. You would hear all that stuff. Cocteau was not a member of the resistance. He stayed apolitical in a move that kind of very divisive opinions on. I'm not going to wade too far into it right now, but yeah. He wasn't entirely a collaborationist either. Like, he did try to get some of his friends out from camps and stuff like that. Didn't work. But, yeah. So I think some of the, the anxieties of, Orpheus being seen as, a collaborator with the police and stuff like that, or, kind of him filtering some of that out on screen. But, and then, to add to it, they go into, this dilapidated building, which I believe is the Saint Cyr Military Academy, which was bombed during the war. So that's why it's just, all kind of ruined and dilapidated. And
looks like a fire, gutted the
yeah.
inside.
And Death is like, "Oh, Orpheus, just sit in this room, and my servants will bring you champagne and cigarettes," which another extremely French moment there. Yes. Please cut in too. I'm doing a lot of rambling here.
I wasn't sure if we could.
Yeah,
you're doing a great job.
Yeah.
Good job, Joe.
One thing that I wanted to say, the scene where they start driving, towards the dilapidated building. The minute I started hearing the code, I was like, "Oh, this is a spell."
I think that's part of it too. There's this incantation.
Something is happening. It's a spell, especially when it says "repeat after me." There's the repetition of 3
times,
and I was like, "Okay, something is happening." And then she turns on, and the insistence that he not touch anything, that he not interfere in any way. I loved it. There's a sinister aspect to it, although nothing really has happened. Well, except for the death of the guy that she's very yeah, he died, But I'm gonna take care of it.
I just need the body. I'm not taking him to a hospital.
Yeah, I'm taking
the body's
care
mine.
of this.
Yeah.
I loved that because I was like, okay, there's a spell. They're going someplace. She's taking him someplace. Something is going to happen. I just thought it was really nice. Yeah. So that's where I wanted to cut in since we got to that part. I was like, that was, I love that.
How they did the special effect where they made his body rise again.
Yes. It's really just cool. It's so simple. It's just reversed footage of him falling down, but it feels,
it was freaky.
I know, because it's just he's reanimated.
Have any of you seen The House on Haunted Hill, the early 2000 horror remake?
No, but
so because that kind of reminded me of a similar effect that was employed, where there's a doctor character who's part of one of the ghosts killing people, and there's a scene where the doctor is walking backwards creepily in the screen, and it was achieved by, I think, making the actor walk very slowly, either backwards or forward, and then it was sped up.
Oh, I love
that
stuff
almost
like that.
Off kilter, he's not. That's kind of what that reminded me of. And I loved how, I'm assuming it was probably sped up
I think
to achieve
so.
that effect. How it's so unsettling. Like, when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is real. You know,
Yeah.
like, I was like, Orpheus, stay where you are. Like, I was like, don't move.
Of course, he doesn't stay where
No,
he
because
is.
he's annoying.
Yeah,
But
he sees her raise him from the dead
Yeah.
and then disappear through a mirror.
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's just like beckoning all her servants through, and
Yeah.
he tries to get through, and he's just slamming. And there's a great moment where it like becomes the lens of the camera, so you're just like, oh, he's trying to get out of
Yeah,
the
I like when he
Yeah.
passed out. When he passed out, I said, yeah, that would be me. Like, why isn't it working? And then, like, you just feel slump again. He's like, slides like that. I said, that would be me. I said, I understand that. But I would also be one of the ones like, let's follow and see where this leads.
Yeah, no, I'd be the opposite, and I would just
No,
run.
curiosity would get the best of me. Like, no, we're seeing this through.
I would follow her.
No.
Of course, yeah. Of course, Lou would. There's a theme with Lou and the women that he likes in films, so it's not surprising.
Yeah.
Death is a great femme fatale in this.
Yeah.
She rocks.
Yeah, I was pro death.
I like when they first get into the underworld and that whole sequence with
Oh,
Orpheus
gorgeous.
and
Yes. Herdibeast.
Eurydice,
The beast.
and how Eurydice is like floating
Floating, yeah.
through, and Orpheus is just kind of like stumbling
Yeah.
behind him.
I'm sorry. Can we go back to or unless this isn't? No, never mind.
So,
Forget about it. Sorry.
After the
Probably
mirror, it's we see Eurydice. How do you say it?
Eurydice.
Eurydice for the first time.
Yeah.
And yeah, she's in a bad way. Orpheus is terrible to her.
Yeah, he's not like the original one. Orpheus loves her. In this one, Orpheus does not love his
No.
wife.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Orpheus is also pro-death.
Yeah.
Yeah, Orpheus
Yeah,
is very
that-
pro
I
death.
want to talk about that because the ending kind of like threw me just a little bit, and I don't know if I had missed something in my watching of it. Because we can talk about that later.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I promise we will get there. But yeah, and she's got the inspector around. I don't know who this guy is, to be honest, but he seems to run things around France. And Algeonis, I don't know how you say that name, who is the head of the Bacchanalian League of Women we have here, who used to be Eurydice's boss and is now a friend, but Orpheus hates her and has forbidden her from ever being in the home.
I also thought she was beautiful.
yeah.
She had a shockingly modern haircut.
She did.
did.
In a way where it was like, wait, people could look like this in 1950? Like,
Yeah.
I was like, go France.
and Orpheus is escorted home by Herdibeast, and he's like, put the Rolls Royce in the garage very quietly.
Which
And
that is the loudest
Yeah,
car.
it
Yeah, the
is.
car is just like.
Yeah.
And Orpheus comes in and he's like, shut up, my wife. You don't need to know where I was. I'm going to go sleep. And she's pregnant, too.
Yeah,
she
she
just
is.
found out, and she wants to tell him, but he's just like, he's being awful to her. And then Herdibeast comes in and makes all of the excuses for Orpheus and is very sweet to Eurydice. And
Yeah.
I really
Ultimate
liked...
wingman.
I
Yeah.
really liked their dynamic because he's just, I don't know, Herdibeast is a really good man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a bit where like she's like boiling water
Oh,
for
yeah.
tea or something.
I loved it.
And it boils over. She moves it, and like she tries to turn it off, but the gas is still on. He's like, the gas is on, and
Yeah.
she's like, oh, okay, sorry. And he's like, I'm sorry. When I killed myself, it was through
yeah.
gas. And she was like, what? And he's like, oh, ha ha ha. I mean,
Yeah.
when I almost killed myself.
Yeah.
Which doesn't make it any better. I like how she doesn't even like. Oh, okay.
She doesn't like bat an eye.
Yeah.
But he just like legitimately cares about her
Yeah.
Yeah.
and falls in love with her
Yeah.
and just wants her to be happy. Like that's,
Yeah.
that's it. Even if it means her being with Orpheus.
Yeah, he wants her to be happy with Orpheus, and he
Yeah.
keeps
Yeah.
trying to tell the dude, like, come on, man,
Yeah.
like, your wife is great. And Orpheus is like, I need to listen to my coded messages.
Yeah.
Yeah. He becomes very obsessed with that.
Yeah. He's using it for poetry. He's stealing the phrases from there and incorporating them into his poems, which I think Death has a hand in. She has
sure.
suggest doing broadcasts of his poetry, and yeah. And while he's distracted with that, 2 motorcycle men come and take Eurydice and leave her dying, and Death comes in to make her claim, and her to Best is like, this doesn't seem right. He's like, do you have orders? And she's like, how dare you ask if I have orders? You have orders.
See, like, I thought she was the boss.
Yeah.
No, there is a weird hierarchy beyond Death,
Yeah, I
which
guess
is
everybody's got a boss.
Which I love it because how bureaucracy doesn't end even when you die.
yes.
Which is what that is.
Yeah.
She's got people to answer to, too. I really thought she was like, especially when she starts talking about, like, doesn't she say something like, oh, people can't see us in our real form or something like that? And I'm like, oh, she's about to get weird with it. And I was like...
Well, yeah, because she was saying if I appeared as people expect me, it would be weird and it would be obvious.
Yeah.
Like, I like that.
I was like, let's get weird and obvious.
But she's also appearing that way because she knows that's what will appeal to the person she's ultimately after, which is Orpheus.
Yeah.
So, so question. If my girl is after Orpheus, which you can't blame her. Look at that head of hair. Why does she kill Suggest?
I think she's just having fun with it. I don't know. Or perhaps Suggest was just an order from above. Because, I
like the first thing you said.
Yeah.
I was like, she's like,
but I kind
she
of,
just like chaos.
But that's how I kind of saw it, though, because everything is calculated, because she kills the rival of Orpheus to sort of get him in the car with her, that's how she gets him involved.
Yeah.
Fair.
One would assume she's been observing him for a while.
She is personally interested in his career as a poet as well.
Yeah. And that's what, ultimately leads to what happens to her. But I'm not going to say anything. And I think it's because that's the effects of her meddling.
Yeah.
Is that it's a spiral effect, everything that's happening.
Yeah, and Her to Beast tries to warn Orpheus about this.
That scene at that point.
I love the bit in the car where he tells him, beware of the sirens, and Orpheus, cocky as hell, is like, it is I who charm them.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, you aren't, buddy. You are falling for such a trick right now.
You can't make yourself more dislikable than this guy makes himself.
This movie dares to ask, what if Orpheus was the worst?
Yeah.
There was one line that I can't remember it now. I'm going to have to think about it. I'll think about it as we go on. Continue.
But yeah, and Her to Beast is like, Orpheus, they have killed your wife. Care for a second, please. We can go into the underworld and get her back. She didn't do this with authority. And he's like, but do I want death? Or do I want my wife? And Her to Beast is like, all right, whatever. We'll go and we'll figure it out when we're there. And he tells him, like, he gives him the lay of the land about mirrors. Mirrors are the doors through which death comes and goes. Look at a mirror your whole life, and you'll see death at work like bees in a hive of glass.
That was a great line.
Yeah, wouldn't you say? So, wouldn't you say like so much of the writing was poetic?
Yes, Jean Cocteau was also a poet, an author, a playwright. He was kind of, he did a lot of different art. He was a visual artist. The drawings in the opening credits were all him.
Oh, that was pretty. I like that.
Yes, all the opening credits are all just dots and like fluid lines, which I thought was very cool.
But they almost look like musical notes, because I didn't mention the original myth. Orpheus is a musician. His voice is what charms people and draws them to him. So they're almost done like musical notes.
I did not make that connection. That's so cool.
Yeah,
every once in a while I have a moment.
There you go. Good job.
He's a bard.
But yeah, and then Orpheus puts on the gloves, and another awesome reverse scene where they like cling to his hand.
Yeah.
That was
So maybe more than I should have. And I was like, I love this so much. I also love how the gloves that Death uses are cleaning gloves.
Yeah.
Very mundane, like, sort of instruments, but also it's like she's cleaning up messes, or everything is just perfunctory to her.
Yeah.
But can we talk about the poor guy? I'm sorry, the poet that she has killed.
Suggest
his name is? Suggest?
Suggest. Like it's S-E.
We'll call him Cece. I'm going to call him Cece.
Sure.
So, like, how she's just berating him, how inept he is. I'm like, listen, Death, I understand you like a tight ship. Dude just got the gig.
It's his first day on the job.
And I like how childlike he is to her. And I'm like, the dude just got the job. It's like, give him some leeway. But it's like, you're inept. You forgot this. Can you do nothing right? I'm like, Oh, I thought she was gonna get rid of him permanently at one
Also,
point.
in that scene, there's a really cool bit when she's mad at her to Beast for questioning her. Her dress changes color
To
Yes,
white.
to a blaring white from the black it's been. And I'm just like,
Yes.
ooh.
Yeah.
The line I was thinking about was something like, I'm pretty sure Hurtubise says it to Orpheus as they're walking in the underworld. He says something along the lines of like, the greatest form of habit is habit, or something like that, or along those lines. And I'm like, oh, that's kind of deep.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, just everything
This-
that was said was so poetic.
Yeah.
This whole entrance into the underworld
Yeah.
sequence, Cocteau starts going off with his camera and the effects. Going in, you see Orpheus approaching the mirror from a first-person point of view shot, and you see him in the mirror, and you're like, oh my god, how'd they do that? And you see the gloves, and like the mirror kind of shimmers like liquid. It was a
Yeah.
vat of
Like
mercury
ripples.
they used for that.
That makes sense. Yeah.
That is so cool.
And they walk through, and then, as Katie mentioned before, you get that awesome scene of like Orpheus like struggling to walk,
Yeah.
and Hurtubise just floating through,
Yeah.
not moving at all.
Wind blowing through his hair.
And
Yeah.
I have to say, I feel like he was standing in front of a giant fan because his eyes were like squinting, and it's like everything is blowing at him.
At first, I thought it was a Spike Lee dolly shot where they have a camera and a person on a dolly to
okay.
give people that floating effect, but no, it's like a weird rear projection setup, because like you see when that guy with the glass comes
Yes.
wandering
Yeah.
in, like he walks behind Hurtubise, but he's like way bigger, and like the whole perspective is just like make your
Oh.
mind melt.
Oh, wow.
I love
That's
that
interesting.
this sequence.
What I also loved about the afterlife is how destroyed it is, and I kind of wonder, like, now that you're saying that this was shortly after World War II, France was heavily bombed.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if the afterlife is also supposed to be a reflection of the world above. So, like,
That would
or-
make sense with the whole like tribunal and everything,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, because like everything's dilapidated. Nothing seems like
Everything-
it's functioning in
Yeah.
any kind of way, which I
It-
thought was really interesting.
It definitely looks like what the cityscape of France, of Belgium, of
Yeah, because everything is
like,
just destroyed.
It's all bombed out.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I really liked it. How there isn't this perfection to it.
Yeah.
That it's also, it hasn't escaped the scars of whatever
Yeah.
has happened above. Like, I really like that.
I like
Yeah.
that time is weird there.
Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
quite functions as it would above, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
they're just stuck in this moment for all eternity. Like there's
Yeah.
I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but there's a bit where Death says something about like finally understanding like impatience, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
god.
Yeah.
But yeah. Hurtubise lays down some other lore there too. This is the zone. It is made of men's memory and the ruins of their habits.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, because everyone seems like the old woman that you see in the background, the glass seller, I
Yeah.
believe. it is.
Yeah.
They're repeating. It's like
Yeah.
they're stuck in a loop,
Yeah.
which sucks. If that's your eternity, that sucks. Like,
It depends upon the loop.
I don't know. That just sucks. to me.
Not sure I'd want to be in that loop.
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, and then they eventually make their way to the bureaucrats of the underworld, the tribunal,
Yeah.
and they question everybody, but you cannot lie in the zone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's which is I'm not sure what that means, but that's what it is, and so Death admits she is in love with Orpheus. Hurtubise admits he's in love with Eurydice. Eurydice, that's the word.
I got you, Joe. It's all good.
and they're like, okay, we'll reconvene and give you your punishments. And they rule that Eurydice can be returned to life, but Orpheus can never look at her. And this isn't the outcome Orpheus wanted. Orpheus wanted to be with Lady Death here. And we get this kind of bizarre sequence that's like played almost like a much more lighthearted comedy, where Hurtubise is like, you cannot look at her.
Yeah.
Why are you stupid? Why do you keep trying to look at her? And but then there's like this kind of shattering shift in perspective to Eurydice, where she's like, I just want him to look at me and get it over with. Like,
Yeah.
she's like, I don't really want to be here anymore. And
Because he's a...
Yeah.
And she tries to wake him up in the middle of the night to trick him into doing it, but
Yeah.
then there's a
Yeah.
blackout, and her chance is dashed.
Yeah.
And then the next day, they're in the car, and she's like playing with the back of his neck, and he looks up and sees her in the mirror, and she
Yeah.
just disappears immediately.
And he doesn't even seem to care.
Yeah.
No, it's really kind of awful.
Yeah.
Like, and
It's almost like, you know, and I didn't think of this before, but only as you're kind of recounting everything, it's kind of like he never really saw her at all,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like now he finally like looks at her and she's gone. But again, I think that's the thing that falls a little short for me, is that he doesn't like if in that moment he like almost had a realization of like, oh, like,
yeah,
and he doesn't.
it's interesting. I have a lot of thoughts about that in regards to the ending when we
Yeah.
get there.
Okay.
So he sees her, she disappears, and then
The poets are storming his
those
estate.
poets are coming at them. The drum solo in that
Yeah.
scene,
Yeah.
I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's get that drum solo needs to be in other things. That was
It
epic.
ruled, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And her to Beast is like, take my gun. The poets think Orpheus had a lot to do with the death of Segest.
Yeah.
Because the poems he's been publishing contain phrases from Segest, which, Death has been feeding him through the radio. And so they come in and
So, now, does Death think Segest is just a better poet? Or, and see, like I kind of wish that things had just gone a little differently, where Death wasn't really in love with Orpheus, and she just kind of wants to mess with him a little bit.
Yeah.
So, because she should know that if she's feeding him Segest lines, that people are going to suspect things.
it might be her way to unite herself with him.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah. I could see that.
So that he dies and she can have him in
Yeah.
the underworld.
Because Herdebeest gives him the gun, which I find interesting, because Herdebeest up until this point has come across as very well-intentioned, almost an innocent figure, and I'm like, did he know how this is going to play out?
Yeah.
Did he
Yeah.
introduce the gun for a reason?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Because
I-
Orpheus doesn't know what he's doing with it. He's just like,
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not going to actually shoot anybody. He's just using it as a deterrent.
Yeah.
but yeah, one of the poets wrestles him to the ground, and the gun ends up in his hand, and Orpheus knocks him down, and it goes off. Orpheus is shot, and he's back in the underworld now, this time the right way.
Yeah.
And Death is seemingly overjoyed for a minute there, but
Yeah.
then is like, something comes over her, and she's like, Herdebeest, we have to do it. And he's like, are you insane? There's nothing worse than that.
Yeah.
And she and Herdebeest, like, return him to life in a way that, like, reverses everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and you see some of the reverse footage in Forward now,
Yeah.
which I
Yeah,
thought
which
was
is
really fun.
That was a lot of fun to see.
And Orpheus is just like, seemingly his memory of all this stuff with Death has been erased, and he's back with Eurydice, and they're happy. And I don't know if I feel like it's sarcastic almost.
Yeah, but I mean, like, that's where this movie kind of, like, falls for me, in that you would think that Death has gotten what she wants, and that it would stay that way, and that she wouldn't suddenly just decide, no, let's reverse all of this and have them be,
But
like, seemingly happy.
she says something about granting him immortality through this,
Yeah.
which is through the poetry. So
Oh.
at least that's how I interpreted it. So it's
Yeah.
like, I'm going to return you so you can.
Continue.
Yeah,
to write,
so
kind of a
which
thing.
I don't know what to do with exactly.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting. I don't know.
Yeah.
Cocteau wrote about the film himself. Yeah, The three basic themes of Orpheus are the successive deaths through which a poet must pass before he becomes, in that admirable line from Mallarmé, I don't know who that is, unfortunately, changed into himself at last by eternity. The theme of immortality, the person who represents Orpheus's death, sacrifices herself and abolishes herself to make the poet immortal. Mirrors, we watch ourselves grow old in mirrors. They bring us closer to death. And so...
That's dark.
Which I love the mirror stuff. I thought it was very funny.
Also, like the idea that mirrors trap souls.
Yeah.
So when someone dies, you cover it so the soul cannot get trapped in a mirror.
So because she loves him so much, she is willing to send him back to his wife so that he can become immortal through his poetry. Is that how we're supposed
I
to
believe
interpret
so.
the
That's how I interpret. I'm
Yeah.
open to other things because
Mm-hmm.
it is oblique. It is not
Yeah.
direct.
I
about
did
it.
not put that together, but honestly, I didn't know what to make of it.
Right.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense because I'm sitting there watching it from a very like one level kind of thing of, well, he doesn't want to go back to his wife. Your death, you love him. He wants to be with you. So
Yeah.
just, happily ever after in hell together.
Yeah.
But that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That makes more sense than
I also thought the tribunal was officially going to intervene at that point because
They are. Death and her to bees are going to be cast off into somewhere.
So that's why I also thought, because Orpheus, with his obsession with death, I'm sure he would have followed death wherever the tribunal sent her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So could it also be that was her way, like once she...
of saving him.
Because I think first it started off as intrigue, like, oh, you intrigue me, you little mortal.
Yeah.
Then it was like jealousy, like, well, I don't want Eurydice to have him, I want to have him. And then finally she becomes selfless.
Yeah.
And she realizes what true love is that you act selflessly for the other person. Because I guarantee, had that Orpheus would have like stumbled after the two of them, probably the tribunal would have said, okay, fine, we're casting you off with it. So that's why I kind of thought she did that too.
That
Although I
would
feel like
make
that
sense.
was more than what Orpheus frankly deserved, in my opinion.
It is.
Yeah.
Like, at this point, no. Like, you want to mosey on down here? You are, like,
Also-
tripping over yourself to get down here.
I
We're going to
mean-
fulfill your wish.
Right. Also, too, the fact that Orpheus had fallen in love with death, it's like, when did that happen?
Oh, well, just look at her. I mean,
Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. I think it's as soon as he sees her.
Yeah, I think it's because she's something different. Because even visually, if you
She's
see
very
her
different.
compared to the other women that you see, there's something visually distinctive about her.
Yeah.
That I think is also... And I also think if we're supposed to believe... Well, no, we're not supposed to believe she is. She's the supernatural, otherworldly entity.
Yeah.
I also wouldn't be surprised... I kind of see it as that she has been observing him far longer than he's been observing her.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So-
well, absolutely.
So I feel like she's probably emitting, like almost like pheromones, where she's emitting something that is drawing him
Yeah.
to her. So, like, he can't help but want to know her. I also love the little chase scene
Yeah.
where you see her walk in one way but not come out, and he's like,
Yeah.
have you seen this woman? Like, haha, that's me that you're describing. And, like, he can't get to her.
Right.
I loved it. You know, like, how that whole sequence was shot, how, like, the chase around the city, and she's always one step ahead of him.
Yeah.
I loved it, yeah.
So I still have a question then about the ending, though.
Yeah.
Because so that makes sense, and I'll buy that, and I like that. What we said before. But when he's sent back, his memories erased, but that wouldn't make him a different person.
No.
It wouldn't make him like a better husband.
Unless he got
And-
completely reset.
There is
Like
so
a-
like I am a little
A factory reset.
unclear.
Sorry, that's kind of how I interpret
Like
it.
I think it's I have to believe that scene is intentionally artificial.
Yeah.
You know, like there is like a sort of like happy ending feeling to it because it's just like this is weird. This isn't
Yeah.
what the rest of the movie has been communicating at all.
Right.
But there is also stuff early on where like Eurydice is talking about like, oh, like he's never stayed out all night before. Like
Yeah.
he's never done this. And so like I don't know if they were happier at some point or and I'm not certain.
Yeah.
I'm going with the factory reset.
I mean hey
good as anything.
But that's kind of how I interpreted it. Like,
Yeah.
the minute he went back, everything was reset as if, like, none of it. And also, as Joe said, the wife
now-
hints that things were fine at one point.
Right.
I don't know.
But see, now what I thought was going on was that because I'm going to say his name wrong.
Herbidacy.
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 Damn it.
Herbidacy.
So close.
Because Herbidacy admitted to loving Eurydice. I thought that what they were doing was transferring essentially Herbidace into Orpheus's body, which was why he was happy and why his demeanor had changed with Eurydice.
Ooh, they did a body switch.
And Orpheus was with Death as Herbidace, but I could just be missing the mark
I would
on
love that,
one.
though. Go into some pit of despair together. Wonderful.
But doesn't
Let
she-
Herbert be happy.
Doesn't she call him Herbidacy or?
Herbidace. Yeah,
Herbidace.
yeah, and that little bit after them going to face the judgment
Yeah.
and being cast into whatever is worse than hell.
Right. Which completely threw my theory out the window.
Not if Death. Well, maybe Death would know.
Because she was
course Death
doing.
would know.
She
She
was
did it.
doing. the
No,
whole
but
thing.
the whole swap thing, like
But,
how
yeah.
but how much of Herbert? I'm gonna call him Herbert. It's just a little easier. Like how much of Herbert? Like I'm following your rules, and then
Herbert. You're going with Herbert?
it's a little easier for me to say.
Not like Herbie.
Herbie, okay, fine. And how much of Herbie was like, I've been going rogue for a while now. Stick it to you, Death, and stick it to you, Orpheus. I'm gonna inhabit Orpheus's body now. I like that idea. Because he can go right off into hell with the woman for all I care. Because like, frankly, that is what you deserve. You want to stay with Death, follow Death wherever she may go. If it is a fiery pit of hell, go forth.
Nice.
See? But I do like that. Yeah.
Right? Because that's what I thought was going to happen.
But if that's not what happened, let's go with the whole factory reset.
Yeah.
Like, she
Yeah.
just made him
Which-
into the
which is
husband
why-
he should have been.
Right, which is why I think I found myself kind of being disappointed with the ending, because it's
Yeah.
like, all right, the movie may have telegraphed or may have subtly put in like all these little different clues about
Yeah.
what was going to happen,
Yeah.
but then it didn't happen, and I was like, what's going on? I felt let down by the ending of the movie.
Yeah, I think I would have preferred something a little less ambiguous, but
Yeah.
I did not interpret it the way Joe said it before, and that does change my opinion a little bit,
Yeah.
because I like that, and I can see that.
That it's a
I would
superficial.
have liked that too. I just don't know that there was enough evidence that that's what happened with the body switching thing.
That's why I think that my theory fell flat in that, because Death had called her ribbit.
Let's call him Herbie.
Herbie had called Herbie when it was all said and done, and I was like, oh.
What happened? I'm sorry. What happened to the other poet at the end? Does he move on?
He's just he's just sitting around.
Yeah, he's just
Oh,
sitting
yeah.
around.
He doesn't walk with?
No, he doesn't.
No,
He's
he was
left.
uninvolved.
Yeah,
Yes.
he was abandoned. He
Oh,
was
that's
left.
depressing.
Oh, so now he's going to be left with all those people that don't know they're dead?
Yeah.
That's depressing.
Yeah.
And he was just a ploy in all this.
Yeah.
So
Or
what was
suggest.
the director's relationship like at the point with the young
Yeah,
gentleman?
right?
Yeah.
Oh,
That
so
adds
just
a whole other layer.
okay. So they okay. This is I'm going to describe the weirdest relationship setup of all time. Now they were dating. And then Cocteau tried to adopt him at the age of 25, which I didn't know you could do in France. I didn't know you could adopt adults.
Wow.
I think so inheritance would go to him. I'm really not certain.
Yeah.
I tried to look into this because I was like, that's an insane sentence on Wikipedia. What do you mean? He
Right.
adopted his boyfriend.
Yeah.
And
Oh, well, that would make sense because at that time, and I know that the director was openly homosexual. I don't think he ever hid the fact that he was.
no, yeah, he was never really.
I guess it makes sense because the lover, like, you could not have
Yeah,
inherited, right, with French laws.
I believe that was the reason. I was uncertain. I tried to do some research, but yeah.
That makes sense. I mean, yeah.
Okay.
Still, a bizarre relationship setup.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
It's also bizarre that he has his ex.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened there.
Yeah.
I'm very curious. I want to read like the gossip mags around this.
Well, I mean, I didn't, because I knew that the lead actor was his lover. I didn't realize the other actor was, I didn't realize that.
No, the lead actor was his ex.
Yeah. Well, at first I didn't realize that they had, because the first film this is only the second film I've watched from him, but I watched La Belle et la Bête, which is a beautiful film, and the lead actor is also in that film as well. He plays the Beast character. And I think I had...
Was that what you were talking about yesterday?
Yeah, his Beauty and the Beast one. It's so cool.
And I was... Because I wanted to read how, like, some of the effects in that film were done, which was really interesting. And then I remember at one point I was like, oh, so they were lovers. But I had forgotten about that. So then when I was reading again...
Have you seen every version of Beauty and the Beast that there is?
So I was looking up... So I was looking up information about that film. Then I remembered, they were lovers. I'd really forgotten. Like, I had learned that when I first saw the film. I was like, that makes a lot of sense. But considering that he was an ex, he still had a pretty decent part, and it ends pretty well. Like, so maybe it was amicable. Like,
I guess so, yeah.
And I was like...
But there's still kind of, like, if you really dive into it, there's still kind of some digs at the ex.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
He hasn't played for a pretty big...
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what went down at the end of their relationship.
Yeah.
Totally, I don't know, but I'm curious to find out.
I feel so bad for the other guy. Like, dies in his prime, gets sucked into being Death's minion.
He was used and then discarded.
How did Suggest and the directors...
I believe they were together for the rest of the Cocteau's life.
Did he adopt him?
I don't think it ever legally went through, but he was generally seen as his adopted son. Oh, wow. And he later on, and after Cocteau's passing, he was like, "Yes, we were lovers, obviously." But like, I think like the house is like still in his family, and I don't know. Like I said, this was kind of confusing to piece together. There's not too much information on this in English, it seems.
They should do a movie on that.
Yeah.
Like the behind the scenes stuff going into that. That sounds more interesting than the movie. And the movie was interesting, don't get me wrong.
Yeah. But this is considered part of the Orphic trilogy. They're not linked plot wise, but just thematically. The first is Blood of a Poet from the 30s, which is I think more avant-garde. And then the last is Testament of Orpheus from 1960, which I'm very curious about as well, where I think Cocteau plays himself.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But I don't know. I really love just the atmosphere of this movie, though, and like the special effects are some of the coolest things ever. Because they just feel dreamy and like natural in a way that I don't know. And to think like this was coming out in 1950. I don't know what I would have done if I saw this in 1950. I feel like it would have been like, it's real. Yeah. This happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, just, cool special effects, but also just every sentence was poetic, like and it's about poets, which is just like adds another dimension to it.
What I love too is when the tribunal asks him, so what's it? As you said, a poet.
Yeah.
What does that mean? He goes, a writer that does it.
Right.
Yeah. I loved that whole, I just loved that whole bit.
There's a bit before that, too, where he's like, what's your occupation? I'm a poet. And he's like, it says here writer. Yeah. And he's like, well, it's pretty much the same thing. And they're like, there is no pretty much here. Okay, what's a poet?
Yeah. I just loved that whole part. I was like, I love that, yeah.
And the fact that they can't lie in there, and he's like, it's a writer that doesn't write. You're like, yeah, well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, what are we rating this out of?
Mirrors.
Mirrors. I like it. So coming into this, I was pretty confident I was going to give it like a 3 out of 5 mirrors. But now that we've kind of analyzed the ending a little bit, I think I'm going to go 4 out of 5. I really liked it. Like I said, really liked the writing. Some cool directing stuff too. And Death was just...
Smoking.
Yeah.
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
She smokes like a chimney.
Yeah. When she sits down with the tribunal and she's like, "Do you mind if I smoke?" and they're like, "Go ahead." She takes out like the best looking cigarette. I don't smoke, but she takes out the best looking cigarette. That cigarette looks so good.
It is dangerous to watch old French movies.
But look at
All
her
they
lighter,
do
the
is
cigarette
smoke.
case.
Like,
Everything is so elegant.
Like,
And I was even about like people in the restaurant. Everyone was smoking up a storm in that place. I'm like, Jesus.
it must have sucked so bad to be a non-smoker at that point in
right.
time
Yeah.
because everything just smells like cigarettes constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're going 4 out of 5 mirrors.
Going 4 out of 5 mirrors.
I'm also going 4 out of 5 mirrors. I really love the cinematography in this. I really love the camera work, the writing. I was impressed by the special effects. I really liked how they made things happen.
That drum solo.
The drum solo, the music.
Yeah.
But the ending kind of, because I wasn't thinking about it too hard, it kind of like let me down on first watch of it. So 4.5 out of 5.
Because even the factory reset thing, while it's funny, I'm still like, I would like more.
Yeah.
I would have liked a little bit more of a
Resolution.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree. So yes.
That's why it's not a clean 5.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 4 out of 5. I enjoyed this film. It was interesting. I love how even though it's grounded in reality to an extent, I love how you can tell when you've entered into the other world by like some slight distortions
Yeah.
in things. Like I just love the way that was done. It what like yeah, it's death, so it's not like it's an entity, but the way it's done is still believable in the reality that you've set it in, if that makes any sense. Like it was
it
like,
does.
okay, that
Yeah.
that makes sense. They're doing things through the radio.
Yeah.
Like it reminds me of another film that we've discussed, Black Orpheus, which is another like retelling of the Orpheus story, but it's grounded in a real
We
setting.
did Black Orpheus?
We brought it up.
We
on
brought
a,
it up.
uh,
It is
Portrait of
available
a
through
Lady on
Canopy,
Fire.
which is one of our streaming services. So check it out. And it's set in Brazil, and it does a similar thing where like there's one scene when Orpheus goes to the underworld. He's going to like I think it's a voodoo ceremony, and so like, I like the way it's a supernatural thing, but it's grounded in a realism. Like okay, it makes sense. You know, he's gonna go here. So
Yeah.
that's what I liked about this film, where even in the supernatural, it's grounded in a reality where like okay, that's plausible.
Yeah.
You know, to me. So that's what I
I
enjoyed.
desperately need to see Black Orpheus because I've heard the soundtrack and it's gorgeous.
I think
Like,
you would really
Yeah.
enjoy it, and it is on Canopy.
Yes, this is also on Canopy.
I made a mistake. It's not.
Oh,
So sorry about
This
that.
isn't, or Black Orpheus isn't?
This isn't. Orpheus isn't on Canopy.
oh, it isn't.
I looked up and I saw it. I was like, oh. And then when I was trying to find it, I was like, I can't find it. It was like not in your region. I was like, my bad. So I'm sorry. So this film is
Apologies.
not.
You gotta get a VPN.
Yeah. Okay. But Black Orpheus definitely is.
How would that work though? Because it's through the. I don't think it would work.
Oh, because you need your library card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. This one isn't, but Black
Okay.
Orpheus is.
Apologies, but yeah, I'm probably hitting this with 4.5 mirrors. I love this kind of atmosphere to a movie. I love the effects work. I love I don't know. I like the dreaminess of it all, and it's really like a dreamscape you can get lost in, I think. To recommend another film that I think captures a similar like kind of magical, realist, mythical vibe, Duel, directed by Jacques Rivette. Let me just do a quick check on what year that came out. Oh, come on, Wikipedia. I'm not looking up the Steven Spielberg movie Duel. Okay, we're 1976. Okay, and it's also set in Paris, and it's kind of like it's almost like a noir, but you quickly realize there's like gods at play here, and like there's a sun goddess and a moon goddess who are vying for control. Very, very interesting film, beautifully shot, one of my favorites. All right, but yeah, I guess that's it, and we'll see you next time with whose ever pick is up next.
See you then.
Bye.